Hey everybody, this is FilterFree Natalie, and I am posting a video that I have not announced. I've been trying to decide if I was going to include this on the channel, and I have decided I'm going to give it a go because why not, right? I've been practicing tarot for a while now, and with really awesome, amazing success and experiences. So today, sorry I'm shaking, today I'm going to do a quick reading. So if any of you are unfamiliar or have no interest in tarot, then this is probably where you go do something else, I guess. But if you're interested, even just out of curiosity, then feel free to keep watching and let me know in the comments if anything resonated with you. Be sure to like and subscribe, share the page if you feel led, and I hope that those that participate get something out of it. If that's the case, we may include it every week. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're going to start by looking at the decks here, and you should know I'm using two different decks. The one that you see here featured is an Aquarian Tarot, and it is what I would refer to as kind of a spicy deck. Don't ask if you don't want to know, because they will let you know. And then there's other ones in here that are Wisdom Tarot. So they have some differences in the illustrations, but other than that, most of the cards, you know, they have a basis for them. So moving right along, make sure you take a couple of good deep breaths, try and not be distracted by things around you, and take a look at these three stacks. These are Chinese barter coins. So group number 1 is the money tree, group number 2 is the knife, and group number 3 is the cash coin. These were all utilized in China, and now they're more about remembrance than anything. So take a look and decide which one calls out to you, either by the number 1, 2, or 3, or by the icon money tree, knife, and cash coin. So pause the video if you need a minute to think about it, close your eyes and open and see which one you're drawn to, and then we will start your readings. We're starting with group 1, for those of you that chose the money coin. So let's see what we have going on here. Okay. Okay. Oh. Okay. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I drifted. You saw my leg. Sorry about that. Okay, wow. So this is, for those of you who chose this deck, I get the strong feeling that the icon being the money tree was the driving force in getting you to come to look at these particular cards today. That beginning with the 3 of Pentacles, that suggests teamwork, collaboration. Maybe someone's going to offer you a opportunity to earn money or progress somehow. Not sure if it's somebody that you already know, but I get the feeling that you might know what you want to do, but you don't have the confirmation that you should do it. Kind of, I'm getting that vibe here. So, okay, and then you have 2 upside downs here, 2 reverses, which I don't look at as a negative, just like there are other cards that are perceived negative. I don't think it's negative. I think that if upright is its basic information, then reverse is kind of like the alternate, like the yin and the yang of the energy. So it's just letting you know that what this card normally stands for is likely the reverse. It's a lack of balance or another way of communicating to you to say, hey, this is what I think might be going on here. So we are looking at the Queen of Rods, also the Queen of Wands, if you have that kind of deck. So starting with this idea that you are going to have some sort of collaboration to kind of meet your needs, it is also addressing, I think, an internal struggle. Maybe you've been dealing with a lack of resources, a lack of money, and you feel like everyone around you has got everything that they need, in fact, more than they need. And you find yourself maybe being jealous, not in a they don't deserve it way, but in the way of If they can have that, why can't I? What is happening that I can't have that? So first thing that I would say there is, whose life is it that you're jealous of? Instead of trying to say, no, I'm not jealous, I'm fine, I'm happy for them. Talk about this with yourself. Write it down or talk to yourself. Be like, self, what is it in these people's lives that I actually feel jealous of or angry at? And then that'll help you to kind of figure out where are the areas where that's really triggering you, where you're really having some issues. Because if you can nail those down, then you can start to make change occur, So that's very helpful to do if you can. All right, next we have the Justice card, and it is in reverse, which means something's been going on, or you've done something to try and make ends meet. And it may be that something wouldn't normally be something you would get away with. Whether there's an official punishment or just with people that may have expected a different outcome. This feels like you need to be mindful and don't think that just because you got away with something doesn't mean that it hasn't impacted you. Because if you're having to do things that you wouldn't normally do in order to make ends meet or to solve the problem of whatever your financial issue is, it's still robbing you of what you're doing on the inside, the idea or the action that you got away with it, but it's still robbing you of clarity because it's taking up time and space to try and say, hey, let's be upset about this just a little longer. And that does not serve you, all right? So if you're starting out with money issues and you would like to, look within and see what those internal struggles you have and why did that drive you to being jealous. And then Justice card in reverse, when you do make money, if it comes by alternate means than normal, just be mindful of what decisions you're making, because they'll still have consequences, even if you haven't seen them yet. Okay, so we're moving right along here. Queen of Pentacles. So this is a couple things. It's trying to kind of say, hey, maybe what you've been doing so far is lacking some practicality, all right? In the meanwhile, you're dealing with so much in your life right now that you're like, I miss the days where I could just enjoy some comfort food and feel safe in my home and just take some time for me. And this card is kind of saying, with all these struggles, the first thing you should do is think about yourself here. It's not selfish to think about yourself in these ways. And this gives you an immediate suggestion here. You should, instead of making yourself feel like you have failed at something, instead embrace your desire to share your love and your peace through your talents. You have something you're good at. Even if you don't think you are, you know that there's something that you can do. And you may have even seen other people making money, whether it's a side hustle or if it's a YouTube thing or an Instagram or TikTok or insert media there. Whichever it is that you might be good at that might end up making you money, that's not something you should just dismiss. Embrace your desire to make your home your oasis. You can make that part happen. Even if you don't have the money coming yet, you absolutely can create a safe space for yourself, and make sure that you have some comfort food. Be mindful of what you're eating, what works well with your body and everything, but what's a good comfort food for you that would make you feel like, at least today, I feel okay. I know all this is coming on right here, all this is going on, but I still have this. I still have my talents. I still have my, ambition for productivity, but I need some comfort. I need some safety. So you should embrace that. You should see what that would be for you and try and make it happen. All right, we also have here the 5 of Pentacles, which is extremely telling, because this right here is basically saying, hey, you are in need. You don't feel secure. You feel impoverished based on maybe you lost your job in the wake of everything going on. Maybe you had reduced hours, or maybe you had to switch jobs altogether just to make ends meet. You have someone around you that wants to help you. I don't think it's in regards to loaning money. I don't get that feeling. This is more like, hey, you know, chin up. We have some resources to provide you here. We have some, but you need to drop your pride. I'm just being real, okay? I'm just telling it like I feel it here with this channeling. So if you feel like you aren't open to someone helping because you don't want them to know how far gone you are, how low you are, you're embarrassed about it, you feel like you're a failure because of it. There is no failure. There's just more attempts. You know, you only have to get something right once to know that it works. You know, just focus a little bit on dropping your pride and realizing that if you are open to help and you are not letting your pride get in the way of your situation and the help that can be provided, then that will happen. But it's not going to if you don't drop your guard here. You need to be a little more open, a little more flexible. It may not be something you would have thought about on your own, but something or someone is ready to help you, absolutely ready. As we see reflected right over here with the Seven of Cups, you're going to have an option to reap rewards like love, money. I mean, look at all these cups here. They are full. See, these are all full. And then you have all these boats coming in as well. The illustration on these I love. I like them both, but I really love these because they really help to tell the story a little better. And this is saying, hey, you know, dream big for sure. You know, think about what it is you want to accomplish. You know, collaborate with that person or people on that project that's going to help you. And just keep in check your fantasy life. If you are getting so excited, like, oh, I'm going to start a new business and this person's going to collaborate with me and we're going to start this new business together and I'm so excited, and then we're going to have all these, you know, let's talk about what we're going to do to the office space, and you start trailing off onto all these big dreams that you have, and you should have them, but you should also be mindful that too much of fantasy living, fantasy thoughts, it can carry you to a point where you're still going to feel depleted, or you're still going to feel like you didn't accomplish something because you're elevating it so much with wishful thinking. So make sure it's a practical dream approach and keep your feet on the ground. You know, that way you stay grounded and you can focus on what you really can accomplish. This follows right behind with the Three of Cups. Look at this opportunity here. You're going to have some happiness. The air is you know, I have still brain fog, sorry. So this cloud here has the rain coming down. You have water and earth all here. They're all working together to fill your cup up. There is happiness specifically, and this has to do with a person. You have been, for those that this resonates with, you have been investing a lot of your time in other people. Okay, I don't know in what way you've done that. You would know, but it seems like you're trying to put in all this work and you're trying to get to that happy place, and it is possible. Whatever it is you're trying to do, it is possible. And we end here with the Four of Swords, okay, which this is good balance. You have duality with the birds here and then the illustrations here. So already that's a great sign. You need to remember that whatever has been your struggle recently, if it's money or relationships, mostly money, I'm assuming, because that's what this reading feels all about, is the finances and the struggles with that. You are almost there. You are almost there to a new time, a time of renewed strength with, you know, contemplate where you want to go in life, you know, actually write things down, journal about it, you know, research stuff online, whatever it is you want to try and do. Give yourself as much credit as you can, and remember that when you're honest with yourself, the setbacks that you've been facing here, it's already going in a place like, hey, all you need to do is be open, all you need to do is be available, and then you are going to have all the great things that you're going to have. The Seven of Cups here talking about your reward, you know, you're going to invest and get something back from it in one way or the other. And this one here is all about happiness as well. So although this seems like, I feel the intensity of, take a breath from it, the intensity of this situation for you, the situation that you're in right now is heavy. It's hard to deal with sometimes. I feel like you probably give up just from wanting to take a break from the energy. It's so draining, and you're not restoring that energy. So if you are following tarot, that means you're probably open to meditation, and that is something I would recommend for anyone, but especially if you are someone who gets too down on yourself, then you're going to have a harder time moving from here to, yes, I want help, to, yes, I want to grow, yes, I want my happiness, and yes, I'm going to look inward and be honest and find out what it is I really want. Just remember that you are very capable of this, and meditation would help you tremendously, okay? Let me know if any of this resonated with you, group 1, and I'm going to go ahead and get to group 2. You guys, peace and love. Thank you. Okay, group 2. We are going to see what you have going on. You picked the knife. So let's see what's going on with that. I already feel some intensity with that, almost like you're like, I wish that was bigger. I want to use that. All right, so here we go. 8 of Rods. Knight of Rods. Okay. The Chariot. Okay. 9 of Pentacles. The Emperor in reverse. I'm getting a lot of masculine energy here. It may be that you're a man, or it may be that, see, more, or it may be someone that you're dealing with in some way, that they might be a male. Okay, so this is, this feels a little heavy. Okay, so what I see first here is we have the 8 of Rods, or Wands as it's called, in reverse. Okay, and that signifies obstacles that may stall your progress. You might be feeling hindered in some way. You may already have a goal in mind, and it's like, no matter what you do, like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, because you just, every time you just feel like you're setting yourself up for failure. You have all these hindrances, and that makes you struggle with being patient for your outcome. You like, I want it now. I need to be in control of it. I need to know what's going on at all times. And if anything comes up that's a surprise, it's really going to throw me for a loop. So already this is an intense energy that's going on with the people in here. Let's go ahead. Knight of Rods. So again, masculine energy, this, if you notice, these are all males. All the arcana, all the people here are males. So that's just worth repeating, I feel like. So the Knight of Rods is basically saying, you know, you have some hindrances going on, but they're going away. You're starting to see some light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll be able to focus your energy forward, and you're going to get a little enthusiastic perhaps about starting or completing a project that maybe you've let fall to the wayside. You haven't given it the attention it deserves, and you're now completely enthusiastic about getting that to its completion, starting a new project from beginning to end, or picking up a project that you didn't finish and finish it. Okay, this is a lot about creativity. Whatever it is that you're doing or you're going to do that was unfinished or just starting fresh is something that you are good with as far as creativity. So that is a strength. That's an asset. So don't disregard that. You need to either start or complete whatever that was. All right, and then indeed the Chariot next. Okay, this is movement forward. This is getting from where you are to somewhere else. The Chariot takes you there. Okay, so this is a suggestion though that you do it with some self-control, not getting sidetracked by the chaos around you, right? So here and here, you're kind of like, we have some potential struggles that are being noticed here, but the Chariot says, you know, I'll take you anywhere you want to go, but you've got to make sure that you exercise your self-control, because you might be in a situation where you feel like you're moving forward, but that doesn't mean you have to lack your objectivity and your focus on making sure that you're doing what you should be and avoiding the chaos that's around you. If you feel like you have a lot of people around you that are just full of drama, I'm getting this feeling. I'm getting this feeling of just being completely over drama. Somebody has made you not okay with having that drama. So followed by that, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So the other reason why you might be having some setbacks for your projects or your whatever you're undertaking there, you have setbacks also from overthinking, over planning. And as a result, the mistakes will happen and you won't feel as fulfilled because you're setting yourself up for these rigid expectations. Okay, so you have all this ability here, but it's like, how are you going to do that? You know, like you need to face setbacks or even plan them out in advance and say, okay, if this scenario happens, here's my response. If this happens, here's my response. I feel like if you planned better or had some forethought into what you need to be doing, I think it would be a lot easier for you to avoid the chaos and make yourself feel like even if a mistake happens, it's just about learning. You know, there's a learning curve. It's called life. Okay, so just because you wanted to do something and it didn't work out because of setbacks or whatever, you're just thinking about it too much. You're overthinking it, trying to say, okay, it's like, I have every scenario possible. But when you're trying to do that and you're trying to say, I think that this bad thing could happen or that bad thing, do a list like that and then take a minute and look and see how many things are that you actually think you've done successfully and which ones you think that you failed, okay? And then you'll see, if you do it honestly, you'll see that the lists are too out of whack. They're too skewed, and that's your sign to say, okay, well, out of these things, what can I do? Put it down on paper. I feel like you're a visual learner. You need to see things for yourself. You need to understand what's going on, and that is okay. Please, that is okay. It's better than not doing anything, okay? We also have the Emperor in reverse here. So for those of you here that are aligning with this is coming across as me maybe being a little bit of a control freak. Just really no other way to say that. You need to self-reflect on what areas you recognize of your life that maybe need to be released. You're holding on to something and you're holding on to it because you're trying to sustain that control, that feeling of control. But because you're upside down here and because you're having these feelings, you already don't have control. So there's two ways to look at this. And the main one that's coming to me is reevaluate where it is you think you need control versus just letting the flow happen, being aware of life and letting the flow and the energy come towards you. Or are you choosing to be kind of A-type about it and have all your lists and all your, pros and cons, and, you have to control every aspect. But when you don't have that need for control, you can release those things. You can say, here's why I need control over this or that. And if you can let that go, then you will start to see the benefits, the positive benefits. All right. We also have the Prince or Page of Swords in reverse. This one is just, look at it this way. See, so the castle, the kingdom here is far away, and he's here with his horse way over here. He's so far away, he's still walking on this dirt path, hasn't even made it up this hill or anywhere near there, right? So just wanted to show you upright. The Prince or Page of Swords is basically saying, don't be in a rush. They're not rushing. They have all that space to go, but they're not rushing. If you can let go of the feeling that you need to rush, then maybe you will start to see that patience works better than control. Okay, if you're patient with something, it means you're actually releasing some control, letting, fate, letting the universe kind of figure that out for you. And be mindful, keep checking in, see how you're feeling about it. What have you accomplished versus what is it that hasn't been done? And is it still appropriate to be patient, or do you need to follow up on it? Because sometimes you do that, you set it aside, and then you're going to revisit it later, and then you don't release it later. You don't look at it or release it, so it builds up. But all you need to do to let that go is just let it go, you know, just if you don't really have control over it, there's no reason to focus so much on it, right? So we just want to be sure that if we start a project that we finish it, or if we have those projects that we laid to the wayside that you need to finish, you're someone who gets too impatient and rushes through it, and then it's not the result that you wanted. It doesn't add up to the situation that you were wanting to have, and that can make you feel like a failure even when you're not. It's just about getting some patience involved and trusting the universe a little bit, and not getting down on yourself, blaming yourself. Self-blame is not going to help you here, not at all. Okay, I'm sure you're already your own worst enemy. Okay, because there's either you're a guy and you have these struggles, or you're struggling and it has to do with a man, right? There's all these gentlemen here, and that doesn't mean it's necessarily a romantic relationship. This could be siblings, this could be father, this could be co-workers, this could be friends, whatever it is. There's a guy in the picture here. All right, so unlike the last group, there's not a lot of talk about money or anything over here. I feel it's much more about your quality of life, your, you know, starting and completing something, you know, growing, you know, going from someone who gets too impatient or, you know, doesn't take it seriously, to this person who's like, I'm ready, you know, I've started to be able to hold on to some savings, and it's been so long since you've had that kind of freedom financially that you're so afraid to use it for anything. And you just have to remember, like, you deserve the excitement, you deserve the kudos for finally getting to a point where you feel like you're getting stable. You may only have a little bit, but I get the feeling that you probably already crossed this milestone maybe a few months ago, and you're sitting there going, I don't want to spend this because it's the only money I have that isn't already accounted for, right? So this is kind of saying, like, hey, don't worry about it. Like, don't hold on to your money so tightly that your frugality becomes stinginess. You know, you're still who you are, and you just have to make mindful choices and learn to say no. Okay, learn to keep some things private so that you don't have the issue of someone going, well, I know you have money, so I just need you to give it to me. And it's like, no, I can't, because I've already saved this, and I can't do that. Look at each situation and try and make a good decision. If it's not a good decision, then you should say no. Learn to say no. That's how you're going to save this. As opposed to being stingy, you're just trying to be smart with your money, and there's nothing wrong with that, okay? Now, I don't think this will come as a surprise, but all this here, you have this glory-filled light just pouring in here, right? It's like, hey, this is warm and beautiful and glowing, and you have all these things down here. These things right here are your negative thoughts. They're your negative self-talk that is making your ability to grow and shine like this. You just tell yourself, no, I can't do that. I looked at this for, you know, so long, and I just couldn't see a scenario where it would even work, because all you're looking for is the negatives. How am I going to fail? How am I going to not succeed? How am I going to drop the ball? Put any phrase you want in there. You need to switch that around to, when am I going to succeed? What am I doing that will contribute to me being successful? Change the narrative on this, okay? You're not going to get through all of this and then get to here. I'm like, everybody has the same amount of cards, but I feel like we need one more, because I'd like to see. So I'm going to use this over here, getting a card out of the middle of the deck, and 8 of Swords, so that's exciting. So we're still in the sword category, so I don't think that changing the card is going to change all that much, but it is an even number instead of an odd number. And looking at the 8 of Swords, there is ability to overcome your challenges. So yes, this is exactly what you needed on top of this. So it's kind of, you're like getting more of a warning here. You're getting like a heavy energy warning. Like, look, we're just, you know, you guys picked this, we're giving it to you straight. You know, they just, the energy here is heavy, and there's a lot of weighing on your heart, a lot of like physically feeling like you can't take it much more. But you are the first person that needs to address yourself. It's not other people in your life that may have let you down or didn't help with something. In order for you to grow and get out of this mind space and get into this one, you have to be willing, all right? You have to be willing to take a look and go, okay, I know that change is possible. I know that good things will continue to come. So I need to self-reflect. I need to be open to change and opportunity. I need to find out, you know, maybe this is a guide, an ancestor. Is there someone that's passed that is saying, hey, I'm still with you. I'm trying to protect you here. I'm trying to protect you here and here and here and here. So if you feel like you're alone, the universe here is saying, no, you absolutely are not alone. And in fact, not only you're not alone, but you have some guides here. You have some help here, and you have the potential to improve. And that's a lot of people just want that, the guarantee that they could change and progress, and you can. So I hope you guys got something out of this. For those that for which it resonated, please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. What did resonate with you, and we can take a look at that and see if we can continue these readings and see if anything changes with your progress. That's one of the favorite things for me, is trying to find out, you know, what did I do a week ago with my self-reading tarot versus what I'm doing today, so you can see your progress. All right, thank you, group 2, and I'm going to say goodbye to you guys so I can move on to group 3. All right, group 3. Group 3, thank you for your patience, and we're gonna just get started here. So you guys picked the Chinese coin, the actual cash coin. So let's see what's going on with you guys. Oh, Magician, 5 of Rods, the Devil, okay, Page or Knight of Cups, Temperance, look at that, 10 of Pentacles in reverse, Judgment, and the Fool. Okay, guys, this is a very interesting deck right here. This is a good spread. So first thing I wanted to make note of is that you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards on the board here. So I know that some of these, especially if you're not as familiar with tarot, some of these can look scary. A lot of people feel some scariness with this one, but not to fear, because sometimes your message has to come from a place of just putting it out there. So let's see what happens with this. I mean, right away, we have this, the Magician has the capability of doing everything, okay? So he's got the cup or the pot here. He has the sword, the infinity symbol, and the pentacles. He can do all of it, okay? He can do all the things. So this is telling me that for those of you who picked this, you have creativity, you have balance, and you even probably practice manifestation. I feel like in this group, there's a lot of people that actually do energy work, shadow work, and having manifestations of what you need. I feel like this group might be a little more in the advanced category, I guess, in that way. And then moving right along, the 5 of Rods says, whatever it is you are doing that's working for you, it's also creating a potential rival, like a competition of some kind. And it makes you really angry. Like this right here, look at it more closely. They're everywhere. They're being held, they're being put upright. There's all these different things going on. So it's like, are you comparing yourself and saying, oh, well, they have this upright, so I need to put these 2 upright so I win? Whatever you may be feeling challenged by or competitive about, you can still see through it, because you're not really prone. I feel that you're not really prone to snap judgment, snap anger. You'll probably think about this first. You'll let it marinate for a little while. Don't be afraid to focus on it. Know where you stand versus, you know, your future goals, And then just remember that even if it makes you angry, you need to keep moving because your journey is not over here. We're only the second card in here. All right, the Devil. So I get the idea here that maybe the rivalry has to do with things like kind of keeping up with the Joneses. Like you have a lot of material possessions, or you like to cling to material things. You know, you make everything meaningful to you, so you end up having way more stuff. I feel like I get the impression that you would probably love to do something like a minimalism, decluttering kind of plan, but something is holding you back from it. And let's move right over here then, because I'm feeling like these two are kind of being friends over here. So you have the Page or the Knight of Cups in reverse, which is kind of a little immaturity. And so we have this fish in here and nice hat. So I'm just kidding. So what we have going on here is you might be someone who kind of indulges in some escapism, maybe through use of substances, whether they're stuff you eat, drink, smoke, or it may be something like you're addicted to reality TV or something like that. You don't want confrontation. You avoid confrontation, okay? So when you have this situation where you just want to escape the problem, you approach your obstacles kind of like a kid, kind of like you have yourself a little tantrum, you know, which may just sound like yelling and anger, or it might be crying over something you don't understand why you're crying about. Be mindful of your emotional responses and try and attach those to what would make sense with what's going on in your life, okay? Because this is kind of a hindrance, but it's not going to keep you for long as you stay mindful of it. In fact, I think that it's kind of like a forewarning that is in contrast, because we see the Temperance card here, and Temperance, that is being able to adapt, to change. You're about having patience. You want to search more about the meaning of life than just running on the hamster wheel of life, making money. I mean, money is not a huge factor for you. Either you don't have any problems with money, or you just do what you got to do, and money's not something that gets you stressed. I'm getting that feeling. All of this is about you. This is about you guys and your approach. All right. So this right here is saying, you know, you have the ability to be balanced and patient. Search for some meaning in what's going on in your life that maybe doesn't feel balanced, and use some meditation and use a friend or whoever as kind of a sounding board to kind of be like, okay, do I try and escape by doing this, or do you feel like we don't talk enough because I don't like confrontation or feeling uncomfortable? There may be a person in specific that you might be thinking of. If you are thinking of someone while we're talking about it, that is who it's about, okay? Because I don't know who they are. I'm just doing the reading. But you should know who I'm talking about, whether it's you or someone in your life. All right, and we have as well the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So in reverse means it's the opposite of what it normally is upright. Upright, this is all about surplus. It's all about having resources. So this one, there's a lack of resources. There's a lack of stability. And it feels like you only had one other upside down. And other than that, you're between two arcanas and you're upside down. So it feels like maybe you have been putting in all this work. You juggle everything at one time. You know, it's not necessarily that it's just a gift, but it's also like a requirement for you. It's, you know, maybe you're a parent, or maybe you're somebody in healthcare. I feel like this is somebody who wears several hats in their life, and that could be a parent, that could be a spouse, that could be an employee, employer, but this is yeah, that's what you're set up to succeed with. So here you have that feeling that maybe the effort that you're putting in doesn't let you enjoy the fruits of your labor. You feel like you're putting in, 100% and you're only getting back 30%, and it feels like almost like you're stagnant, like you can't figure out how to get yourself out of a rut to where you can access resources and actually make a difference for yourself, make sure that you review your goals and make sure that nothing is too unrealistic. Okay, so dreaming, having big goals is a very good idea. You have big, ambitious goals, you do. But make sure that they're still realistic. They're something that would actually happen. We put ourselves in a position to say, oh, wouldn't it be like perfect if this happened? We all have those fantasies. We all have those dreams. But you need to be careful because you are getting ready to grow. You're getting ready. You're almost ready to do something with all these things going on with you. And it may be that the timing which isn't right between what you're doing and what you're expecting. Are you expecting it too fast? Or are you now you're not investing as much because you didn't get an immediate response, right? So if you do manifestations, then this could be a focus for you. But then again, the other end of the sandwich, the arcana sandwich here, is the judgment. So if you're not sure, then this is like, hey, I know that you have some confusion here. You're not sure what your resources will be. So how can you progress? This is like, listen to your intuition, pay attention and be honest with yourself. Your endeavors are benefits to your growth. And this is signaling that, you know what, all this is going on. And what we have here is the coming on of an awakening of some kind. Like you have so much in line already. You're so balanced and you have all these things going on. And then it's like, hey, that is good, but you need to get to know yourself a little more. You need to focus more on mindfulness, on journaling, right? Whether that's you write something or you type something, however you want to do, or you record with your voice, however you do it, you need to have some self-reflection. You need to find out what's really going on with you. I think you project the idea of yourself to people, the person that you want to be in front of other people, but you're not the same person when you're by yourself that you are when you're with other people. You project a certain idea about who you are. And this is saying, hey, you need to get to know yourself and figure out how you feel when things are up or down and how you feel you can accomplish or succeed in a situation while having those feelings, because you are leveling up and it's happening right now because we have the Fool. This is the first arcana card. This is saying, hey, kind of have a clean slate. Got my little Jimmy Crack Corn thing there, and I think that's the song, and then you got this little dog nipping at you because it's like, hey, I'm reminding you that there's some danger here. There's kind of a self-bias on clean slates, feeling like, hey, I can just thrive and succeed and not worry about it because I've leveled up and now I have this new understanding and this gratitude. But you need to remember that when you feel the on fire feeling of recognizing your freedom, recognizing your spiritual balance, don't forget that when that happens, being totally carefree also risks you getting hurt, right? It also says, hey, while you dive into this new clean slate, don't forget to watch for pitfalls. See how he's stepping around, and if he's not careful, he's going to fall down this ravine. And so when you should expect that if something's going to derail you, it's going to be as obvious as a dog biting your leg. Okay, so if you've gotten a sign or a feeling or whatever that makes you feel like, okay, I want to take on this new thing. I want to take on this new endeavor. I want to travel here. I want to take on a new career. I want to start a family. Whatever it is that you have going on, you're willing to just say, I'm going to jump in 100% committed. But keep in mind, you still have to watch where you're going and make sure that you're not ending up as at risk as you used to feel. Just remember that you can be totally carefree and have this growth come full circle as long as you understand that there will be some reminders from the universe saying, hey, slow down. Remember we said, be patient, temperance, be patient, right? Make sure that you feel like you are you know, on this clean slate, and you don't just have obstacle after obstacle, because then something else is going on. Have you really started that new thing yet, or are you doing the foresight, the dreaming part, the fantasy part? You can make it a reality. Just make sure you cover your bases. So guys, thank you for your time here today picking group 3. Let me know if this resonated with you, or anything else you might want me to post about, or different decks and things next time around. And you guys, peace and love, and we'll see you next time.